Hello everyone, happy Halloween. Yes, it's October 1, 2023. This is episode 5 of your Property Moments. I'm David with Service Matters Property Management. What's up? What are we talking about today? Well, today's video is for all of you renters out there, specifically those of you who are living in single family homes, or maybe you're getting ready to move into a single family home. And specifically what we want to talk about are some of the mechanical components of the home you're living in, and also your responsibilities as outlined in your lease. And I think by the end of the video, you're going to see that those two things are really kind of interconnected with each other. So let's get started. So one of the things that's, kind of different from living in an apartment or a dorm to living in a single family home is that there's not always someone around who can assist when things go awry, right? And there's a lot of moving parts in a home. There's a lot of stuff going on behind those walls, and you're interacting with a lot of that stuff every day, whether you realize it or not. Now, some of it's really simple and obvious, things like replacing light bulbs when they go out, or replacing smoke detector batteries when they start chirping, giving that annoying chirp, and changing out the AC filter every month. We all know to do those things. But there are a lot of other things going on in the house that you need to at least have a very basic understanding of, be able to operate on a basic sort of level. I'm not talking about trying to turn you into like a Bob Villa or anything like that. But you do want to have a general understanding of how your home works. And if I could only choose one mechanical component that everyone needs to know about and needs to know how to function, it would be the water shutoffs in your home, right? Just imagine this situation, okay? You're sitting at home watching a little Netflix, and all of a sudden you hear this boom. And the next thing you know, the house is filling with water because that boom was the hot water heater exploding, right? Now, you of course are gonna call your landlord. You're gonna try and get help over there as quickly as you can, but it could be 30 minutes, it could be an hour, it could be longer before someone can get to you. And in that time, your house is filling with water, your furniture is getting ruined, and you're getting ready to have a really bad day, right? So how do you resolve that? Well, you can save yourself if you know where the main water shutoff is to your home, right? Now, if you live in Florida, and let me couch that real quickly. If you live in Florida, okay, your main water line is very likely in a box, in the ground, in your front yard, near the road somewhere, right? It's going to be level with the ground, so if your grass is kind of high, it might be a little difficult to see. But when you find it, if you lift that plastic or that metal lid or cover off of it, you'll see the water line running to the house and running back to the street. And there should be either a hand turn or maybe a dial turn down in there that operates the water, turning it on and off. You want to know where that main shutoff is and be able to operate that on-off function so that in an emergency you can save yourself, right? It's also important to know about the specific shutoffs for the different plumbing in your home. Every sink and every toilet's going to have at least one turn-off dial on it. Your sinks usually have 2. Your dishwasher may have its own turn-off dial. Your fridge, if it's got water or ice hooked up to it. Just go around the house and be able to locate all of the specific turn-offs for the plumbing as well. Because again, in an emergency, you want to be able to help yourself as quickly as possible while you're waiting for additional help to arrive. Another big thing that happens to a lot of folks is we've all experienced this, right? A storm comes in, the power goes out, and we just assume that the power is off somewhere in the neighborhood. Maybe a tree has come down on the line, and so we're just stuck without power until that gets resolved by the power company, right? But maybe not. It could just be that a breaker or some of the breakers in your home have tripped. And if you know where the breakers are located and you can go and look at it, you might be able to get power back onto your home more quickly. Now, you've all probably seen the silver panel in your garage or your laundry room, maybe a utility closet. When you open that up, there's all these breakers in there. And if someone's been really nice, they've labeled the breakers and labeled what they go to, and they actually go to those things, right? That's one breaker panel. That's the one that most of us are familiar with, but there are others in your home as well. There's usually one outside of the house near where the power line comes into the home. You may have breakers near some larger appliances like your AC unit or your hot water heater. They may have their own specific breakers nearby. And if you live in a relatively new home, you probably have some number of GFI outlets in the house. Those have breakers in them too. And you'll be able to tell the difference between a normal outlet and a GFI outlet because between the two receptacles will be a little button. Maybe it's red or yellow, maybe it's blue or black. And if the breaker inside that outlet is tripped, if you push that button in, that'll reset that breaker. So if you know where all the breakers in your home are located, when the power goes out, or maybe just one part of the house is without power, you can kind of troubleshoot that yourself and get things up and running more quickly. Now, each home is different. Every home has its own unique features. So your home is going to have other mechanical components that you're going to want to familiarize yourself with as well. Maybe you've got a sprinkler system. Maybe you've got a pool with a pool pump. Maybe you've got one of those fancy gas generators that's plugged into the house and operates the home when the power is out. Whatever your circumstances, you want to spend some time in the first few weeks that you're moving in, or if you forgot to do that when you moved in, do it now. Take some time and familiarize yourself with these different mechanical components of the house. And if you have questions about them, reach out to your landlord. Your landlord should be able to help you out, or at least will try to help you out as best they can in understanding how those things work and what are some common problems that might arise so you can troubleshoot that in an instance if something goes amiss. The other reason you need to understand these different mechanical components of your home is because in your lease is a set of responsibilities that the landlord has put on you as it concerns the house. And sometimes dealing with these mechanical components in certain ways is a part of your responsibility. So nothing can be worse than being without power and having to wait several hours for someone to come over, only for that person to just reset the breaker. And then the real kick in the pants, you find out you're responsible for that $80 or $90 or $100 service call bill because you're supposed to be able to reset breakers, right? So find those sections in your lease that talk about your responsibilities, familiarize yourself with those responsibilities, and if you aren't certain about something, talk to your landlord about it. Big picture here, understanding the mechanical components of your home is going to save you in an emergency. It's going to help you to live more effectively in that house, and it can save you from unexpected bills when you're not doing what you should be doing as part of your lease. I'm David with Service Matters Property Management. Be on the lookout for our next video next month. Until then.